Have you ever watched a little one struggle to go to the bathroom and just felt helpless? Maybe it's your grandchild, or maybe a child you help care for now and then. They're wriggling around, holding their tummy, sometimes crying, and you'd give anything to take that discomfort away. It's hard to see, isn't it? And if you're anything like most grandparents or seasoned parents, your first thought is probably something like, what did they eat? What can I give them to help? You start thinking about prunes, maybe some juice, or you try to remember what the doctor said when your kids were that age. Constipation in children is surprisingly common, especially these days with all the processed snacks and sugary treats that seem to sneak into even the most careful diets. But here's the thing, it doesn't always have to come down to medicine or uncomfortable remedies. There are natural, easy, even tasty foods that can make a real difference. And the best part? You can often find them right in your own kitchen. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 simple foods that have been shown to ease constipation in children, foods that doctors often recommend, and that many of us already know and love. These aren't fads or fancy ingredients. They're wholesome, nourishing, and they actually work. And yes, if you're wondering, they're not just good for kids. These same foods can help you, too. Because let's face it, constipation doesn't care how old you are. Let's start with something most people know is helpful, but might not be using quite the right way: pears. Not apples, though pears. You see, pears are rich in something called sorbitol, a natural sugar alcohol that has a gentle laxative effect. They're also high in fiber, especially if you keep the skin on. And fiber is exactly what the digestive system needs to keep things moving. Now, the trick here is ripeness. You want a soft, juicy pear, not one of those hard ones that taste more like a potato. When pears are ripe, they're not only easier for kids to chew and enjoy, but they also have the most benefit for digestion. If a child isn't too keen on eating a whole pear, you can mash it up with a little cinnamon or mix it into oatmeal. You could even poach slices in water with a touch of honey, just make it soft and comforting. And if they're still learning to like the taste, you can take a bite with them. Make it a little game. One for you, one for me. You'd be surprised how quickly they catch on when you're enjoying it, too. Another food that works wonders, and doesn't always get the spotlight it deserves, is chia seeds. I know, it might sound like something from the health food aisle, but hear me out. These tiny seeds are absolutely packed with fiber and omega-3 fatty acids. When you mix them with liquid, they form a gel-like texture, kind of like pudding. And that texture helps soften stools and make them easier to pass. For kids, especially picky eaters, you can turn chia seeds into a sweet little treat. Just stir a spoonful into almond milk or oat milk, add a dash of vanilla and a few mashed berries, and let it sit for a few hours. It turns into a smooth, jelly-like dessert that feels more like a snack than a remedy. And if you've got a toddler or a preschooler who's already used to yogurt or smoothies, chia seeds mix right in. No fuss. No struggle. Just a subtle, nourishing boost for their digestion. Now, here's something that surprised me when I first learned it: kiwi. That fuzzy little fruit with the bright green center? Turns out, kiwi is like nature's gentle laxative. It's full of fiber, sure, but it also has a special enzyme called actinidin that helps with digestion in a way other fruits just don't. Some studies have even shown that eating 1 or 2 kiwis a day can significantly improve bowel movements in both kids and adults. Now, kids may look at a kiwi and think it's a little too weird at first, especially with the seeds. But once they taste it, especially if it's chilled and sliced into fun shapes, they often love it. You can even scoop it out with a spoon, which turns it into a little event. Something fun. Something they'll ask for again. And remember, this doesn't have to feel like medicine. This is food. Delicious, nourishing food that supports their little bodies in the best way possible. And when you turn it into a moment, sitting together, peeling and slicing, tasting and laughing, they're not just eating better. They're also building memories with you. What I've found over the years, especially as I've helped care for the next generation, is that the little things make the biggest difference. It's not always about finding the perfect diet or being strict. It's about small, consistent changes that feel doable and kind, changes that come from love, not pressure. When kids feel encouraged, not forced, they're more likely to try new things. And when they see you eating that same pear or enjoying a spoonful of chia pudding, they feel safe enough to follow your lead. So as we explore these foods together, just keep that in mind. You're not just helping their digestion. You're teaching them how to care for their bodies. You're showing them what it looks like to listen to their needs. And honestly, in today's world, that's one of the greatest gifts we can offer. Now that we've covered a few gentle, gut-friendly foods like pears, chia seeds, and kiwi, let's talk about one that might already be sitting in your kitchen right now: oatmeal. Oatmeal is one of those timeless foods that somehow keeps proving itself useful, generation after generation. You probably remember making it for your own kids on chilly mornings, maybe even with a bit of brown sugar and milk. But what makes oatmeal so effective for relieving constipation in children isn't just its comfort factor. It's the soluble fiber. This type of fiber absorbs water and forms a soft gel in the intestines, helping things move along without being too harsh. For children who are struggling to go, especially those who are still building up their diets, this gentle boost can make a huge difference. But here's the key: skip the instant packets if you can. Those are often loaded with added sugar and not much else. Instead, go for rolled oats or quick oats and dress them up naturally. A mashed banana, some cinnamon, maybe a few chopped pears, or even a spoonful of those chia seeds we talked about earlier. And here's a tip I've picked up from many fellow grandparents: if the child is hesitant about oatmeal, make it feel like a treat. Call it magic porridge or teddy bear breakfast. Let them stir in their own fruit. Give them a special spoon or bowl. A little creativity goes a long way with little ones, especially when we're trying to help them eat something good for them. What's also nice about oatmeal is that it works well for just about everyone in the family. If you're trying to stay regular yourself, a warm bowl in the morning might be just the thing. Sprinkle on some flaxseed or a handful of berries, and you've got a meal that keeps your heart and your digestion happy. Now, for our fifth and final food, one that often gets overlooked but works beautifully when you know how to serve it: sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are nature's comfort food. Soft, sweet, and packed with fiber. They're also high in vitamins like A and C, and they have a gentle way of supporting the digestive system without causing bloating or irritation. If you've ever baked a sweet potato and scooped out the fluffy orange inside, you know just how easy it is to eat, even for babies who are just starting solids. But for older kids, it can be just as fun. Try cutting them into little cubes and roasting them until they're golden and slightly crispy on the edges. You can even mash them with a bit of cinnamon or nutmeg for a more dessert-like dish that still packs a punch in the fiber department. I remember one time making little sweet potato boats with my granddaughter. We sliced them in half, scooped out a little of the center, and filled them with apple chunks and raisins. She thought we were making some fancy gourmet treat, and happily gobbled up every bite. What she didn't know was that the combination of fiber from the sweet potato and the natural sugars from the fruit was exactly what her little belly needed. When you can combine nutrition with fun, it's a win for everyone. And that's really the heart of all of this, isn't it? Helping children feel good, physically and emotionally, through loving care and small, thoughtful choices. Because when they feel good on the inside, everything else gets a little easier. They play more. They sleep better. They laugh louder. And you? You can breathe a little easier, knowing you've done something simple but meaningful for their well-being. Now, I know it can feel overwhelming sometimes. The world is full of advice, books, blogs, even strangers in the grocery store. But I want to remind you that your instincts matter. Your love, your presence, your attention, those are your greatest tools. If a child is struggling with constipation, you don't have to jump straight to medications or worry yourself sick. You can start small. A slice of ripe pear. A bowl of oatmeal. A sweet potato baked with a little love. These foods are gentle enough for the most sensitive tummies, and they come with the added bonus of connection. You're not just handing them a snack. You're feeding them with intention, with tradition, with care. And here's something else to consider. These aren't just fixes for the moment. They're habits, patterns, the beginnings of a relationship with food that can last a lifetime. When a child learns that food can help them feel better, not just taste good, they begin to trust their body. They start noticing how different foods make them feel. That kind of awareness is something many of us didn't learn until we were much older. But thanks to you, your guidance, your gentle suggestions, they can start much earlier. And that's powerful. You don't have to be a nutritionist or a doctor to make a difference. You just have to care. And if you're watching this video, I already know you do. The truth is, constipation in children is frustrating. It's uncomfortable for them, and honestly, it's heartbreaking to watch. But it doesn't have to stay that way. With just a few real, nourishing foods that are easy to find and simple to prepare, you can help ease that discomfort in a way that's loving, natural, and lasting. Now that we've covered some of these gentle, effective foods, like oatmeal and sweet potatoes, let's take a moment to reflect on just how powerful those small, nourishing choices can be. Think about it. Something as simple as sharing a soft, ripe pear or a warm bowl of oatmeal could be the reason a child finally gets a good night's sleep. Or the reason their little tummy doesn't hurt anymore. And when you see that smile of relief on their face, or when they run off to play without that grumpy, sluggish mood that so often comes with constipation, that's when you realize it was all worth it. You didn't need anything fancy. No expensive supplements. No stressful doctor visits. Just a few wholesome foods, some gentle encouragement, and a whole lot of love. And while we've been focusing on kids, because let's be honest, when the little ones are uncomfortable, the whole house feels it, these foods are also a gift for you. Yes, you. Because let's not pretend constipation is just a kid's issue. We all deal with it from time to time, especially as we get older. Our bodies change. Digestion slows down. And sometimes we just need a little help. So, when you prepare those chia puddings, when you slice up some kiwi or bake those sweet potatoes, you're doing something good for your own health, too. It's not just caregiving. It's self-care. And I think that's a beautiful thing. In fact, one of the unexpected joys of helping children eat better is that it often nudges us to eat better, too. We slow down a little. We become more mindful. We start asking ourselves questions like, is this going to help me feel good today? Or what's something simple and nourishing I can enjoy with them? Food, in this way, becomes something more than a meal. It becomes connection. It becomes a language we speak without words. A way of saying, I see you. I care. I want you to feel good. And maybe that's the most important message I can share with you today. That the act of feeding someone, really feeding them, with intention and care, is one of the most loving things we can do. Especially when it comes to helping them feel comfortable in their own little body. So yes, constipation in children can be frustrating. It can be tiring. It can feel like one more problem in an already busy day. But with the right foods, the right mindset, and the right heart, you can absolutely help. And you're not alone in this. There are thousands of other grandparents, parents, caregivers, and friends out there who are facing the same struggles, looking for the same answers. And we can support each other. Share what works. Laugh about what doesn't. And remind ourselves that we're doing the best we can, with the tools we have and the love we give. If anything in this video resonated with you, or brought to mind a little one you care about, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you've tried one of these foods and seen a difference. Or maybe you have a secret family recipe that's been helping with tummy troubles for generations. Share it in the comments. Because your wisdom might be exactly what someone else needs today. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and give it a like. It's a small way to help spread this message to more people who need it. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like more warm, down-to-earth advice on caring for your health, your family, and your heart. This channel is about more than just tips and tricks. It's about community. About remembering that no matter our age, we still have so much to give, to learn, and to share. So whether you're here because you're a grandparent helping out, a parent doing your best, or just someone who loves learning how to care for others in natural, nourishing ways, I want to say thank you. You're doing something beautiful. You're making a difference. And that matters more than you know. Here's to fewer tummy aches, more joyful giggles, and peaceful nights where everyone gets to rest a little easier. Because sometimes, the most powerful medicine isn't in a bottle, it's in a bowl of sweet potatoes, a spoonful of chia pudding, or a ripe kiwi shared with someone you love. Here's to you. And to the quiet power of gentle care. See you next time, and until then, keep sharing your wisdom, your kindness, and your heart. That's what makes the world feel a little warmer.